The number of times I have had local corporates and even like founders in the local Kenya market say that they prefer not to purchase locally made software or hire locally, it breaks my heart. They talk about Microsoft, Google, Amazon, but never space for like local tech. And we need to change that narrative. Today I'm joined by a guest who will switch over to introduce himself.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an interesting conversation. My name is Lee Ndegwa. I am a solutions architect, and I alternate between being a solutions architect and a backend engineer. Being a solutions architect, it means that I see the product development from the beginning, requirement analysis, all the way to the implementation. And also, as a backend engineer, it means also have to write some code. So basically, that's kind of what I do. And yeah.
Awesome, cool. So you're on the set because I remember I saw a comment you posted on LinkedIn. I think there was talk about like the big, big tech coming into Kenya, and you're like, actually the problem is us locally. What's your perception? Do you feel like maybe with this a bit of like a complex that we have, we don't want to use our own software, we don't use our own people? But yeah, I just wanted us to get into that.
Well, in my role as a solutions architect, it means being an architect. It means you just don't just build software.
Yeah.
There are times you may need to outsource.
Yes.
And there are times you may need to actually build locally, or sometimes even get it from wherever. And I have been always trying to buy locally, but most of the times you find that you have no option. Okay. You're looking for, most of the times the solutions I'm looking for, I end up buying outside the country. So I've been trying to investigate why is it that Kenyan companies cannot just build these solutions? And yeah, it's something that has been bothering me since I joined the industry.
Since you joined the industry.
Yeah.
And with that bother, apart from being willing to have this conversation, have you found like any solutions? Have you found like any of these root causes? Because I completely understand it would be hard to compete with big tech. Like it would be hard to compete with, say, Google or Microsoft. Have you found any insights that you're willing to share?
I think yes, and probably quite a lot of them.
Okay.
And I think first what I would say is that I don't think we should even compete with people like Google and Microsoft.
Good
I think
one. Yeah.
they have the solutions they're offering that we are not yet there as a country.
Okay.
If you think about like the cloud infrastructure and all the backbone, the internet, all that infrastructure behind it, like there's a lot that they have already provided. As a country, a company cannot just start setting up such an infrastructure.
Yeah.
So I think if we can try to complement one another, like the solutions they have already provided,
okay,
and we work together with people like Microsoft and Google, and just have a way that we bring them together. And so we are not competing with Google or Microsoft. We're just trying to fit in, because you see, as Africans or Kenyans, we understand our problems better.
Yes.
Than, like for me, I am more into the retail industry.
Yep.
I understand the retail industry in Kenya much better than somebody who is in US. He might be a very good programmer or whatever, but I understand better the issues in the country better.
Yeah.
So I do not expect, I'm seeing so many companies from outside the country coming with solutions in regards to retail, accounting and such. But I see so many loopholes because I have used almost all of them.
Okay.
There are so many loopholes in those solutions. So we Kenyans, we know the loopholes we have.
Yeah.
We know if we can come together and fill those loopholes.
Okay.
And yeah, now into the actual issues I think there are many. Like the things we should do.
Yeah.
Things we should do as a as a country.
Yeah.
Not necessarily as a country, but I think I would prefer to focus on individual people, either individual developers or individual companies.
Okay.
Because when you're looking for a solution, you don't go to the government. You're looking for
Yes,
company
exactly.
X, provide me with
This to do Y, yeah.
And I think first what I can say in my process of looking for a solution is, of course, you'll begin with, is the product good?
Okay.
It's like, and you find that sometimes if you think of maybe you're buying a laptop, the laptops are there already.
Yes.
But there's something that will make you go for a specific brand and not a
Versus.
specific brand.
Yeah.
So if we assume everybody has a good product, assume Kenyans already have the product.
Yeah, like a
Let's
laptop.
assume
Yeah.
they have the software. Let's assume they have that and their solution is perfect.
Yeah.
And now we are asking ourselves as Kenyans, why don't we buy from them? If their products are good, then why don't I go and buy from company X? And from my experience, probably I'll share more of my own experience trying to purchase locally, and then I end up buying outside the country. So I'll probably say my own experience. Finding that the product is good, then you see there's always the product and there's always the business side of things.
Yeah.
Where you have, there's like the product, like did the person market their product? Is the product visible? Have people done the documentation for me to understand how this system works?
Yeah.
Have people done the background things required for a product?
Yeah.
Everything there. And I think I don't find a problem. Okay, there's quite an issue there. You find most people will have a very good software.
Yes.
But they will not do the documentation.
Documentation. And
so
when you're talking documentation, what type of documentation? Is it like even YouTube videos of how the product works?
Yes. Yeah, Kenyans don't create content. So,
Amen. I know.
so you find, I'm looking for, let me just use my personal experience, retail solution. Let's try it.
A retail solution,
Let's
okay.
think of something like a retail solution. I'm looking for a retail solution. Here in Kenya, even right now, Google for a retail solution. You will go and you'll find 5-10 websites.
Yes.
And then you will click, and I just want a demo. I won't find. Okay, give me features of your system. They will tell you it has point of sale, inventory. They will highlight and point of sale has so many things. Has loyalty, has payment methods, has integrations. Like the documentation in Kenya, like you read about a system in less than a page. It will just be a page. So I can't make a decision
based off that.
On a page.
Yeah.
Then you contact them and ask them, like, I need more information about your system, and then they will always push for meetings and such things.
Yeah.
Compare, that's how Kenya is. Now compare that with the international market.
Oh, yeah.
Go to a company, any retail solution in any.
Yeah.
They have pages and pages and pages. They will provide you with, including the integrations. If you want to do integrations, this is how you do it. If you want to do point of sale, this is how somebody sells. They will show you somebody walking in. They will just have complete information about the system.
Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah.
So by the time you are coming to, so when you compare the two, and when most of the times people who are making decisions, we are not the final decision makers.
Yes.
So we are just somewhere in the middle. And then you have to have a very comprehensive report and then give it to the final decision maker.
Yeah.
So if somebody gave me a 5-page document and another person gave me 200 pages, of course I don't need the 200 pages, but in the 200 pages I'll be able to sift through and see
that it's quite comprehensive.
Yeah, something very comprehensive, and I'll be able to make a very informed decision from that. So that's something that is lacking. So you find the product is there, it is good, but they have not documented about it.
Okay, so we need to do better in
they need to documenting, if you call it branding,
marketing.
Whatever the term will fit in there, but if the product is good, make sure that the brand, the document, that is good.
Awesome.
Assuming now the documentation is good, because sometimes you find you're not very keen about the document. If we have a word of mouth.
Yeah.
You can show me the demo, and usually now move from the product side, and now you start going to the business side of things, where yeah, you have the product, but company A, B, C have the same product. And then now we come to the business side of things. You go to the procurement department and they will tell you, okay, so for us to process this, we need document A, B, we need the CR12, we need,
all that.
we need that. Yeah. And so most guys, they are developers, they have come up with a good product, but compliance, zero. They have, so you see, for me to process a certain system, like it doesn't, like I'm asked, okay, so give us the registration of this company, because you can think of a system, it requires some
registration,
registration and so the procurement department will come and ask me, okay, fine, you have told us the product is good, we don't even care, so give us the registration of the company, give us the details of the company you're working with. And you go back to the other side and you ask the person, give me ABCD documents about now, not about the product, but now about you.
Yep.
And
nothing.
Nothing. And so even if I know you personally, you see, you may have a good product, I know you and all those things.
But it's hard to recommend you and push you.
Yes, I can't go beyond that, because now, there are things, there's the procurement procedures that I'm supposed to follow, and you have already failed on the compliance. You don't have the, and sometimes you find even big companies, not big companies per se,
medium
but
size.
medium companies that you think they are doing well, but you will ask them for the registration. They will give you the registration. You will ask them for the CR12. They will tell you it will take 1 year just before you get that thing, or they will give you a document that is not up to date. You ask them for tax compliance, and probably it's 3 years ago.
But let me ask you, who do you think, do you think they do it because they don't know, or it's just like, sometimes you're just so focused on, as you said, building the product, and then you forget the other side of the business side? Or is it, and sometimes it's also very hard to find this information. I'd love a step-by-step guide to tell me how to get my business to be compliant, which lacks in this Kenyan market.
I think in regards to that, it's because I've been in that journey, creating a company, you create a product, and then you get into a process. Okay, I've been on both sides. I have been on the side where I am the client, and I've been on the side where I am the customer, the other one. So, as the business owner, I think it's your responsibility to know what is required for you to operate. Okay. You see, you are required to have, you know the requirements. If you don't know, then you should have a consultant. Don't carry the whole burden for you, on yourself. You're registering a company, you're an IT person, you're a software developer. You know for sure you have no idea about the legal sides of the business. Yes. Then don't handle the legal sides of the business. Let a consultant, these people are available. Yeah. Let somebody else deal with that. When I was dealing with my own company, I had no idea of the number of documents I required. I went to open a bank account and it's a long list of actually, I was given a list and I was like, no, I can't handle this. So I had to give the person who was supposed to do the audits. Okay. And now let him deal with all the documents that are required. Because I cannot be both a software developer and also on the other side, I am trying to be an auditor. And at the same time, I'm also trying to be maybe a company secretary or something. Yeah. You have to release some of these things, because if I focus on the business side of things, then the area where I am selling, the core point, will fail. So unless I have enough people on the team to start to deal with the code, and then I move to the business side. If I don't have that, then I have to release the things that are not very critical to my business to other people so that they can deal with them, so that you don't overlook. Yeah. Because there's a lot of things that you're required. And when you're going through the procurement procedure, you will see those things coming up, because they will say, we cannot process this payment because we don't have ABCD things. Okay, and interesting. They will never, and I think that's a very big stumbling block for so many small businesses. Okay. especially for me, there are so many times I know people personally, they are doing business, I understand their business.
Yeah.
I know what they're selling is good, it's legit, but I know they lack
The compliance.
the compliance side of things. And
Okay.
even if it's something maybe small, 100,000, I still won't give them that business. So
Okay, cool.
so I think it's really important that
Yeah.
it is something that can be ignored,
But you should
but we should
focus.
really focus on it.
Okay, cool. So any other ones? So we've talked about the documentation, there's the compliance.
I think what I can say is I think this really applies to, maybe it can apply to everything, but maybe more to software. When I started working, there is a time, I loved writing code. So when I started working, we had a small challenge, so I was required. So we were trying to look for a solution for a certain integration.
Yep.
And I told my boss, I think this code, I can just write it and it won't cost us anything.
Yeah.
And she was like, just give me a few quotes so that we see. And I was like, okay, fine.
So the option was either you write the code or you pay someone to do the integration.
Yes.
Okay.
So I got several quotations. And it was a very small integration. It was like 300K.
Okay.
And our company is not very big.
Yeah.
So 300K is quite something for
Yeah.
us. And I had several quotes, but she finally approved the 300,000 one. And I was like, what happened? Like, I told you I can write this code.
I can do it, yeah.
And why? Like, what actually happened here?
How did you make that decision? Yeah.
And when I asked her, she told me there's something called the bus factor.
The bus factor.
The bus factor is where just in case you write this code for us and then you go outside there, you're hit by a bus, and then you have to start all over again. And so, and I think I also look at that quite a lot. And I think I can say it's more of continuity. If I look at your business, fine, you are compliant, you have the product, but now we are engaging into a contract of like 10 million, and this contract has a retainer of maybe $1 million or something per year. What happens? We have used your software for 5 years, and your company does not seem to have any. Like, you can decide to shut down your company day one, and what happens? What happens to us? So I think I look at the continuity. Does your company has future? And I think sometimes I used to wonder, why do people ask for board of directors?
Yeah, exactly. Which is
why do people ask for this? Like, who needs it? But now, once you start now getting into the details of the business, you start realizing there's a time I was doing a migration of an accounting system from one to another, and we lost data in that process.
Oh, no.
And you just cannot imagine a company running 20 years losing data.
Yeah.
So you cannot imagine I move my solutions to your solutions, like I move to your solution, and then 5 years down the line,
you shut down.
Your company did not have any continuity. I did not foresee it. Then I have moved a company. Some companies are even 100 years, and I have moved our solutions to that.
But that's actually kind of challenging can you imagine someone who's just started up, like for that continuity? Like, how do you draw that balance in that? Because I'm hearing you're looking for continuity, but continuity is hard when you're just like starting up, right? It's like...
It is, it is hard.
Yeah.
But also remember that people in business, they don't want to gamble. You just don't want to risk.
You don't make money,
Yes, I don't, especially having been there, having lost data, I don't want to have that experience. So if I see that this company is run by one person, I honestly don't want to risk anything that probably beyond maybe 1M, or anything that requires continuity, like you are going to be supporting this product. If it's going to require continuity, then I'm very keen on the team.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm not keen on the employees. I'm not keen on, because you can decide to fire everybody.
Exactly.
Tomorrow, and you probably are 5 people, and you decide to fire everybody, and you have been paid like 30M, and you decide to fire everybody. So I look more on You see, people say you should have some advisors in your business.
Exactly, yeah.
People who, and I think if you are very serious in your business, even if it's a one-man show business, you're able to make 5 or 6 directors and you don't have to pay them. These are people who take responsibility of some issues, because anytime that even I'm required to do maybe a job like 100,000, they will always ask you, if we don't find you, who will we find? And who will take responsibility of your job while they are not really part of your company?
Yeah.
It's going to be a challenge, because, and it's a challenge there, but also think about it as the customer. I want to pay this person 100,000 for a small thing, but how am I going to be sure? Like, in case I don't find you, yes, you are one person or you're 2 people, but if you guys, I don't find you, what happens?
What happens? Okay.
So,
got you. That's a really good one. I just wanted to touch on, I've been noticing there's now kind of like brain drain, talent drain going on right now. I'm always saying people have moved to, like, you know, to Western countries to, you know, further their careers. And I do believe that this drain is having an impact in our local tech ecosystem. And I just wanted us to touch base on that. And if you have any thoughts around that, is it actually an issue? Should this just continue happening? Yeah.
Since I was very young, I used to be against people. You just get educated in the country and then you decide to
live, yeah.
So, yeah, it's something that I usually feel like, I usually feel there's a lot to do for the country.
Amen, yeah.
But the challenge is, you see, the challenge is money.
Yeah.
Like, you see, a company comes and tells you, here's 500K per month. And on the other side, you're being paid 50,000.
Yeah.
Like, who won't take that? It's going to be a challenge. Also, on the other hand, for local companies, it's quite unrealistic to pay 500,000. So some may be able to do that, but not many.
Yeah.
Not many local companies will be able to pay to match up with the international market. So it's going to be a challenge, because it's going to be a challenge.
It's just going to be a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree for you. I agree with you that it is going to be a challenge, and I see where you're coming from. Like, at the end of the day, if someone, as you say, 10x is your salary, like, I don't expect you to say no because of your love for your country. But I'm also a big believer that this is where we need policies. The government can come in, like, you know, just help make sure that this space is like, we're just trying to be fair to avoid all that brain drain happening. But I completely feel like, tell me.
You see, the government might not be able to come in, because you see, there are those who are coming, like, they will have licenses in the country and such. They are going to follow the procedure.
Yeah.
But say something like LinkedIn, and you can apply for a job like JP Morgan.
Yeah, anyway.
And who knows you work for JP Morgan? You're working here, you work from home, and you're working for a company in the US, they pay you in dollars. The government does not know why you actually receive this money. So it's going to be very hard for, I don't see where the government would, I don't know, maybe policies maybe to control people like Microsoft, Google, AWS. Those who are coming in, they can be able to control them in a way. Especially, I think where they can control is especially on products. Like, I have seen there's an influx on things like inventory management systems. We already have them.
So many local made.
We already have them. Like, these things are there. Like, why would you really allow such things to come? And, you know, these guys are cheaper. So by default, people are going to result.
So maybe look at it from like area specific, like in the retail space. We know all these products exist that are locally, and figure out how to push for those to be used. As long as they have, as you said, good documentation, compliance, that business continuity.
Yeah, but I think now
Yeah.
for us, for 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 individuals, I'm trying to really focus on individuals because if we try to tell the government to do anything, that is a very long process.
Yeah.
But there's a lot we can do
Yeah, I
on
agree.
our side, and then let's see if the government is ever going to be part of it. But you see, people might decide, fine, I'm going to work for a company in US or whatever, whichever country. But I usually see there's so much value in communities, like the local communities.
Yeah, exactly.
We see like Nairobi JVM, Python,
Yeah.
those things.
Completely agree with you.
If these meetups could be more productive, just don't meet up to give
Just
talks.
to talk. Yeah.
Just
I understand, yeah.
if, for example, decide to build something like an election system, say Python is good in writing maybe this, and people who do Go, they are good in concurrency. Java, you are good in Nini. So we are building an election system. Each meetup is going to build a section. And you see, you are going to be working for a company in the US, but still you are building something locally, because you see, when you're many, you're going to build a very massive thing.
Yeah.
And then somehow you can work it out somehow. But this thing about meeting and
Just
okay, the
talking.
talks are good. They are really important. They help us. Okay, they help you if you, somehow they are very good. But I wish that now on the silent days when there is no meetup, I wish there was something that
we're actually building.
We are working. We have seen that in this country we are always like all small businesses use QuickBooks. Like why do we need to use QuickBooks?
Why do we need to use QuickBooks?
Well, people can sit down. An accounting system will not even take an year to build a Kenyan solution. People are talking about open source. I don't see what project actually people are working on as an open source project.
Yeah, that's very good insights.
It's really hard to. There's a community I'm trying to follow up to understand what open source solutions they're working on. It's a Kenyan one, but
they call them the open source community.
No, it's something. It's something there, but it's they are. I don't know. I have not really understood the scope of what they're trying to work on. But you see, if people are talking about open source, I think it's now the thing that everybody's trying to push. But if you're going to push for an open source, let's push like all those meetup groups. Just come up with something and build something and
I agree.
Release it out there. Maybe that way, if now my product is being used locally, now I can feel I'm part of the.
Yeah, I completely agree with that approach. 100%. You touched on something that I wanted to talk about. Why I'm very pro local tech. I mean, we've seen that the law has changed. Facebook, I don't know whether it's from now, but very soon they'll be able to share information with whoever they choose to. And I think a lot of people are worried, especially small businesses that run fully online. There's a potential this could be shared with the KRA and, people you don't want to know. You don't want them to know how much money you're making and that kind of information. And for me, that's where building locally is very important, because Meta does not understand the context of running a small business in Africa. I wanted us to just touch on that, what your thoughts are around that topic. That's
on Meta. Okay, sharing information.
Yeah.
There are some issues that may rise up there, because even Kenyan companies, we don't know if we can trust them.
Yes.
With our information.
Exactly.
And I think that is also another reason why people don't buy locally. Actually, I have had one client who had an issue with that, why they will not buy local, because they will not trust you that you're not going to. Actually, to share both with, not the government only, but now I'm using an accounting system that is locally made. This system is being used by two competitors. You see, there's a likelihood that company A is going to pay me to give them some insights.
Well, you shouldn't do that.
So you see, there's that.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to introduce a very serious issue on trust. I think the few companies I know in the country, the software, because it's not that we don't have good companies in Kenya. We do have some good companies here, tech companies that are doing very well, and I actually follow them, and I actually envy and treasure what they do. So
You can name a few.
Of course, one company I'm a big fan of is Africa Stocking. I feel like
Shout out to Africa Stocking.
Africa Stocking build for
Africa.
Yes, those guys are doing a good job. I mean, they give you an open platform. You just build whatever you want to do. Make money out of it if you feel like. And so anyway, before I lose that question, on trust, you see now, if we have companies like Africa Stocking, actually they're working on a product that is dealing with trust, something called Irarian.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they're working on something like that. I haven't really understood it, but it has something to do with confidentiality of information. So if a few of the companies which are ahead, companies that are ahead of us, of the ones that are starting or the ones that are trying to navigate, they have already earned trust.
They already earned trust, yeah.
Then it means that the rest will earn trust by default.
Yeah.
But if I don't think I have had an incident where any local company has. I don't think I have had any. I may not be very conversant and familiar with news, but at least I try on tech news.
Yeah.
I know they're dealing with interesting things, including, I know, also Craft Silicon. We have Innova. Innova is, I don't know whether it's a local company, but they have offices here in Kenya.
I don't know actually know about it, but I know Craft Silicon. Yeah.
Craft Silicon is a Kenyan company.
Yeah.
Of course, it has some branches in India.
Yeah.
But they have built interesting solutions for banks, and I have not had issues. I have never had a bank has been hacked. So from those, and these things have been made by Kenyans. So from what other local companies have maintained that level where there's trust.
There's trust.
So people can say, if somebody tells you that I cannot trust you because you are going to give this information to this, you can tell them, no, but I know the solution that maybe KCB uses or another bank uses is made by a local company. Yeah. You can tell them that is there, and probably you're a customer of KCB, and you can tell them, if these guys have not done that, it means that it's possible to replicate because you don't have to create from scratch. You can just copy what Craft Silicons are doing. They are good practices they have, so you just can copy you're not trying to do what they are doing, but they have some good practices. Yeah, just copy what they have done, and probably ask if it is the CEO of Craft Silicon, I'm trying to start this thing. What are your thoughts? If he can be your mentor or advisor, and it's going to give you, it's going to earn you credits, and tell them that even the CEO of Craft Silicon works with me. And
it's a part of your board.
But I don't know if I've answered your question, but
you've kind of answered it. Any other things you wanted to talk about? Just building for Kenya, buy for Kenya in the tech space.
I think also people should try to fine-tune their procurement. It just doesn't have to be that complicated. Yeah. If businesses can fine-tune that. But I think it's both sides, because you don't want to risk as a business. And on the other side, if for people who are starting, some of the requirements you can imagine trying to do, if you have tried to apply for government tenders, you will give up somewhere in the middle. You need a team of like 20 people to just process one tender. And you need to know someone in the government. Even before knowing somebody. Just the documents and the amount of paperwork and the requirements you're required. It doesn't have to be that serious. Yeah, but I think other thing I would say for developers is build something, let it be ready. Just don't wait. I think there are so many issues in the country. Like there are so many things that have not been solved. Yes, we have softwares, accounting, we have like every sector we already have solutions. But now the solutions we copied. Somebody is trying to create another QuickBooks. Yeah. But that does not work here in the country. You'll find that QuickBooks lacks so much in terms of like it's too complicated if you just want to do normal accounting things. It's just too complicated. So what people who have made local solutions, they are copying QuickBooks.
But
And
they
then,
need to figure out how to simplify, like
yeah,
for
they
a
need
small
to create,
business.
yeah, people should create solutions, not copying. I think the issue is that you find developers, especially really good developers, they went straight to big companies and they focused on code. And they
Yes.
have no knowledge on
They
the
don't know how to
domain.
problem solve.
So
how
you're
yeah.
talking about accounts and
Yeah.
you have no idea what is a balance sheet and what it is used for.
Yeah.
And so you are writing a code for balance sheet and you have
We
no
have no
idea.
context on what, yeah.
And on the other side, the accountant has no idea about code. So you are trying, two people are trying to communicate ideas and they cannot.
Yeah.
So it's, we developers, because you see, ideally, whether you call yourself an architect or whatever, at the end of the day, it's the product you deliver. And if I am an architect and I cannot write that code, I may be able to come up with very good requirements. But if I tell somebody here, I need something that can balance this and this, but for him, what he knows is to write code, then we may not really. So it's, well, big tech is going to still dominate until we sit down and focus on specific domains. We need to stop.
Yeah.
Developers need to own up a domain. That's the only way we are going to make a difference.
Yeah.
You cannot be moving from, I think usually developers will say, one is supposed to stay somewhere for 2 years and 3 years, and then you move to greener pastures. But I don't think you're going to understand a domain unless you're moving from company that is dealing with accounts to another company that is dealing with accounts. You're not going to make any difference. You're not going to yes, you can be a very good programmer, but the only person who is going to make a difference in the country is the person who has been in an industry. You have been an accountant. You have been dealing with accounting solutions. You have tried almost all solutions possible. They have not worked, or you're always having issues. Then that is now the time you sit down and say, enough of this. I need to fix now this. Or probably along the journey, you have been doing integrations, and you realize, why don't I just bring my integrations together and release that product?
But I really like that point because, I mean, just like as you're saying, I think like these communities, like for example, the engineering community, it's sometimes around the tech, like the Ruby engineers, the front-end engineers. It's not around like a domain or a solution, which I think would be a more wholesome approach, and we'd find these communities are actually solving problems, coming up with solutions that could probably be used by, locally. So I really do like that approach of, what you're suggesting here in terms of a solution for this.
Yeah, so I think I would say that for, people need to, developers, but okay, I may understand, but anyway, that is not the solution. Hoping, like you work here for 2 years and you're out. Another 2 years you're out. You're never going to understand a domain, and
you're just chasing money.
You're just chasing.
Right? Yeah.
So it's good we focus. And maybe the last thing is usually trust, and you realize that yes, you have everything, but nobody will ever recommend you. Nobody will ever. You have to go out of your way, and if you know you have a good product, you have tried it, you have tested it, and you know it is good. Don't go and market a product and you know it's going to be launched tomorrow and it's going to break.
Yeah, exactly.
I've ever done a campaign. We have launched an online shop and we send a campaign, and the moment it goes like that, we have a spike in traffic and the site crashes.
Yeah. And then no one will ever come back to this site ever again.
Nobody else is going to come back. So I would say that don't deal with marketing as a hotel. Hotels don't start marketing when they are building. Like they start chini. And then when now you know you have everything, you have checked everything, because you know when you start marketing, a certain company that is supposed to check that is going to come. So they're going. So anyway, what I'm saying is that don't market your product and you know it's not good. Because once I come to your site today and realize what you promised is not good, I will never come back, and you will have lost.
Yeah, you've lost a customer.
You have lost customers. So before you market, make sure you test. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to release your product. Of course, don't wait forever. You can.
Yes.
It's also, there's always the minimum viable product.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Don't also, if you are building an accounting system, don't wait for it to be. You have fixed ledgers. You have fixed what. And then just release something and give people that. And once you see they're interacting with it,
yeah, go from there.
Go from there. But then now once you know the product is good, you can now start ask for endorsements. Okay, endorsements and partnerships. For example, if you look at it's not a very good idea, but it's something people can do. Maybe it's not a good, but maybe
I like bad ideas actually.
So there are some of these inventory companies coming into the country, and I'm very jealous of them. So
Zoho,
yes,
those kind of yeah.
So what these guys tell you is that you can do partnerships, and you resell our products. So accept. You want to get into the retail industry? Accept. Resell for Zoho, resell for Udo, resell for, I think, what else? Whatever.
Yeah.
All those. So you're a partner with Zoho, you are accredited partner with Zoho, Udo, and all the companies that you can be partners with. So people, when they go there, they can search and they can know, oh, this guy is a legit person. Because you see, people have already trusted Zoho. They have already trusted Udo or any other inventory system they are using. Now, when you're already now inside there, you can tell them, oh, you guys are having this problem. I can show you something else. This one, now you know, yes, you are a partner. You know, being a partner does not limit you from selling other things. I can sell for Zoho and at the same time sell for Udo. So if you are not happy with Zoho, I can remove Zoho and take Udo. And if I have mine, I can also. It is going to be much easier if you collaborate with these people than trying to fight with them.
Yeah.
Just partner with all of them, and then you have your own solution. If Zoho is not working for you, I have a solution for you.
Which is nice.
Yeah, you try.
I like that. That's not a bad idea.
Because
Smart.
they will throw me out from partners.
So it's just like trying to figure out like the loopholes or the missing pieces of this different, like, say for like the retail space, and then figuring out, let me build for that.
Yeah.
I completely agree, because sometimes like when you're doing like, just like, I mean, I've just also looked at Zoho as well. It's like, I want to tweak it a bit because it doesn't work very well in the local context. Yeah. And also, Odo doesn't, because I've looked at both of them. So it's just like, hey, maybe I should build something like for both. And if you already have that, if you already are a partner and you offer this, I can see how that works. So,
because you see, when you're looking at Zoho, they will show you the listed partners there. So you know, when you're contacting the partner can tell you, by the way, I understand. You see, if you have been using me, I have used them, so I know all their problems.
Yeah.
Okay, Zoho is the one I'm not very, it's something I'm not, but the other one I have used. So I know all the, so by the time you're asking me, can Zoho do this? I'll tell you, no. I know already it doesn't. Yeah. And you know, when you talk to the salesperson on the other side, they will tell you it does. It does. So if you are a partner and you know your staff very well, you will tell them this does not work.
Use it to your advantage.
But it will be very easy if you are talking to a Zoho partner than you met with me somewhere.
Yeah.
It will be much easier for you to accept my... So that is on partnership. The other one is on something like endorsement. People sometimes use endorsement and they call it maybe affiliate marketing. But, but I don't know whether it's the same thing. I'm not very good in marketing. Maybe I just passed by that somewhere.
But I think it is kind of the same, endorsements and affiliates,
Yeah, but I think where I'm focusing more on, you see, the problem with affiliate marketing is where you use influencers. Like, it's kind of their job to do that. But endorsement, what I would say endorsement is what I'm talking more. Okay, you can use it for marketing. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. But what I'm trying to say, if it's the same thing, it's okay. But endorsement is somewhere, you know, somebody is prominent.
Yeah.
Or a company is good at something or it's doing, like, let me use an example of Safaricom and a company called Kopo.
Yeah.
So Safaricom can endorse Kopo to do, they say, okay, these are our partners. If you're looking for online M-Pesa, something integration, this is a good, like they have said.
They've endorsed it.
We kinda endorse you. We are not trying to tell people how good you are or anything. It's that these guys, we know them, they are good. It can be the CEO of Safaricom saying about Kopo. He's just probably mentioning it somewhere on his speech or somewhere. And you know, when these figures talk about your product or your company, the next thing you're going to have is a high traffic.
Yeah.
And then, so that's why I was saying we have to be very keen that don't let the CEO of Safaricom mention you,
and then,
these guys go to your website and they find you are a scam. You are going to ruin the reputation of that person and your reputation. So just be very careful when because sometimes you find that we have access to some of these people, but the reason they will never endorse us is because we don't have anything there. There. So yeah, so partnership in all ways, like, you know, something like building on top of other companies like Safaricom, you can build M-Pesa on top of that. Africa's Talking, they have their solutions, so you can build whatever you want on top of their solutions. Like, I think what I can say, don't try to compete. We have a lot of problems. We are not even trying to be competitors. We have so many.
Choose one.
Just choose one. And even if you go to retail, it's not that I'm the only passionate person in retail. We are so many. We have companies that are dealing with retail in the country.
Yeah.
Don't chase them.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Just work together, see how you can work together. And together we are going to we are going now to start bringing these people. I know so many people who are using inventory solutions that are not Kenyan.
Yeah.
We can now start bringing them back. And that money can, and now once we have so many people using local solutions, those guys who are working for those other companies, they will now start coming back.
Yeah.
Because now you can afford the 500,000.
Yeah. How you seem to have, like, I kind of speaking to your right and left brain, like you have your engineering side, but you've managed to grow your business muscle in some, like, and to think around like business, not just to think around code. Mm-hmm. How did that happen? How did that journey start? How did you get to believe you can speak tech and also speak shop?
That's interesting. I was lucky to be among the few people who usually start working at a very young age.
How young is young?
I was 22.
Oh, okay.
I'm not very young though. Okay, I started working earlier than that, but professionally.
Yeah.
And the moment I got into a professional work, I was given very hard things to do.
Okay.
So I used to make a lot of decisions, and I used to make so many wrong decisions.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, they costed the company.
Oh, wow.
So I usually say I got time to
make mistakes and learn the hard way.
Yeah, so my boss was paying my school fees in this, like not the school, but my learning experience. So yeah, I think that's where it started, because you see.
And this was a local company?
Yeah.
Okay, company. Interesting. That is so good.
So I have never, sometimes money kind of tries to push me, but sometimes it's a balance.
You stay grounded.
Maybe not, maybe I will. Maybe sometimes I'll divert. But anyway, yeah, I started working at age 22. Mm-hmm. And my role, actually, I started working as a graphic designer.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I started working as that. But that role didn't even last a month. Oh. I was hired specifically for that, but my curiosity is so much that I see a computer crashing and I'm like, no, you guys can't do that. I'm typically a person who cannot hear sound going wrong, and I'm like, no, guys, you can't do.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I shifted roles very fast. And now, since the person who was in charge of IT had left, I was now kinda
Made that.
so you are made there temporarily. Like, yes, you are the graphic designer here, but you are here temporarily. Just make sure you fix some issues as we are trying to sort out this issue, and they have never sorted them.
Oh wow!
So from that point, you have so many IT decisions to make. You have so many decisions.
It's a lot. Yeah.
You have like there's procurement going on. There is implementation of solutions. So you have to see the product from requirement analysis all the way
To launch.
You have to write code sometimes. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
been
I
a
do love it
sacrifice.
because I completely agree. If you do wanna, like, I can definitely see. Talking to many engineers, you have that business side to it. And local small companies are the ones that kind of help grow people like you.
Yeah. I was lucky to work for a small company. I like it
Yeah.
because it has given me a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
And what I usually feel bad about small companies is now, after becoming a good person, you have become a good developer.
A business person.
You have become a good person in terms of making decisions. Then you have to leave them and then join a big company that does not even appreciate all those things.
Yeah.
The only thing they appreciate is they will appreciate you by giving you more money, but narrowing your focus.
Yeah, which is such a hard dilemma, isn't it?
It's
But
a bad thing. It's a bad thing because it's something I usually struggle when I'm trying to apply for a big company. I'm usually like, fine, you're just applying for maybe a DevOps engineer, just writing the back-end things. Yeah, I do enjoy it, but where I am, I do that.
Plus.
Plus.
Other things.
So I get the
I completely
exposure.
agree with you. Awesome. So that was Lee talking how to support our local tech companies. Really good insights. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please don't forget to comment, share, and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, kwaheri.